Hi, this is Noit, and today we are talking about Malta temples. We are talking about Hypogeum, Malta Underground Temple. This is the second presentation on the hidden secrets of Maltese temples. Space, as I said, we're descending into this small Mediterranean island called Malta, Melita, and we're going back in time. We're going into 3500 BC or 4000 BC or 5000 BC, and we are looking at the structures, megalithics, that are left for us to see in Malta, that are the oldest structures, freestanding structures on Earth. So these structures and their use and the way they're built and the messages that we get through them are giving us an insight about the civilization that has lived in Malta or around Mediterranean or on Earth those days, 5,000, 6,000 years from now. It is interesting that looking at the temples and listening to the messages that temples provide for us, we can link up to all sorts of messages we get from different religions all around the world, giving us a message, giving us an idea that all of them could be linked, that all of them come from the same source, from the same idea, and lead to the same, back to the same divine. Malta temples, underground temples. So after we have looked into temples and their structure, the way they are built, we will descend into the underground temple. We will descend through the spiral. We will slowly move through the staircase leading down into the center of Earth. Now, William Blake in his painting depicts this ladder that through the spiral leads down into the womb of Earth. And we can see in his painting lots of women descending down the staircase, going in a spiral movement down to the center of Earth, from heaven to Earth. And this painting reminded me very much of the picture of Hypogeum, and could have been happening 5,000 years ago. Hypogeum is an amazing structure carved within the stones. Amazing number of tons of brick taken out to build this space that is now on almost 500 square meters. It goes as deep down as 11 meters, and it in a way reflects, it is a mirror image of the temples that are above the ground. Descending down into the earth, we come across oracle room, and we come across a room called Holy of Holies. Now, those two rooms are completely different, and they're very distinctively very determined to be in this particular way, one resembling the womb, female womb, and the other one having very straight and strong geometrical lines that remind of the male aspect, male energy that exists within the nature, within the human body as well. Now, within the oracle, we find the creation of spirals, beautiful mystical spiral that we find above the ground as well. And they are drawn in red ochre, so we get this wonderful association of that color that is sign for fertility, that is sign of this menstrual cycle of woman that is ready to give birth to a child. Within the oracle room, there are different rituals that took place within the room of Holy of Holies. There are different rituals that took place. We can imagine what were they for and what was happening 5,000 years ago, but what gives us an indication, what gives us a way to focus, what gives us the path to actually direct our meditations and thoughts, is the fact that Hypogeum was actually built with the sound in mind. It was built as a ritual site where the sound vibrates in a very particular manner. The sound within the Hypogeum, when I was there, when they were doing some tests on the different vibrations of sounds within the Hypogeum, on the vibration of different notes and instruments within the Hypogeum. I was sitting in the oracle room meditating, and we were doing some sophisticated recording on the computer, and so two people who were above me, some 8 meters above me, were whispering to each other so they don't disturb the recordings, and I could hear every single whisper through the walls. The whispers were completely audible, 8 meters underneath the place where the whispers were happening. So these places were built as a machine, sound machine. If you alter a sound through any of the chambers within the Hypogeum, that sound will echo and will become further audible within any of the chambers of this underground temple. Now, the sound that vibrates particularly well within Hypogeum, that when that sound frequency is struck, you can actually feel the stones shaking, is 111, magic divine 111 hertz, the sound of low male voice, the sound of chanting Om, the sound of Tibetan chants, the sound of chants of Christian Mass that you still can hear in its original state in the countries like Ethiopia. So that particular sound, the sound of low male voice, has been tested, and what is remarkable about it is that the effect of that sound on human brain is quite interesting, because it shifts the functions of the one side of the brain into the functions of another side of the brain. inwards, we are going into ourselves to discover the silence that is connection to God, and going outwards into the world of manifestation to discover God or divine as transcendent, omnipresent, omnipotent. So a spiral that connects us to God within and God without. Now, temples and initiations, with all these information that we have, we could imagine above the ground. There were the temples that are built, oriented towards different heavenly bodies, towards the sun and the moon. And that's why during the equinoxes we have the sun rays passing through the particular passages of the temples, and sun rays finishing on particular ritual stones within the temples. We also have the temple divided into two parts, one that is within the darkness, the second that is within the reflected light, and one that was completely uncovered. So we are mirroring this particular path of the spirit descending into the earth to actually give a birth to the soul that will come back to the spirit again. So you can imagine the initiates passing between the two spiral columns, entering into the spiral to descend into the underground, becoming the central axis, becoming the Sushuma in a Hindu philosophy, becoming the pillar of consciousness, becoming this Kabbalah center to actually be the source, to descend into the earth and to reconnect the heaven with the earth. Then you can imagine Hypogeum being the magical place of dreams and vision and sacred musical practices. And you can imagine priests and priestesses using chanting and deep voice singing and bell ringing and bowls, singing bowls and drums to actually reach the altar state of consciousness, to heal people, to go into the oracle, into the dreams, or to conceive children. You can find these musical rituals later on, as I said, all around the world, within the Christian Mass singing, Tibetan or Buddhist chanting, and within the Hindu devotional songs. So, moving through the chambers, we are moving through the light, then we go into the light reflected as the same way the moon reflects the light of the sun. We go into the darkness, deeper into ourselves. We go deeper into the earth when the darkness becomes more complete and when we can reconnect with the silence. Through the chanting, we open to divine, we go into meditation. There are different wedding or healing rituals being performed, and then we also go into the sleeping. We go into the dreams. We go into receiving divine guidelines through dreams. We become an oracle that through the dreams gives the messages to the people about what is the way to work, behave, govern the country, etc. This little statue of the goddess was found inside the Hypogeum, and what is very interesting about it is that Tibetans have a position for dying, and they also recommend that a person lies down on their right side, to put the hand underneath the head, and then the left hand should be put in a particular position. So the sleeping lady that was found in Hypogeum 5,500 years completely mirrors the Tibetan dying position, for recommended for sleep. So you could actually come into the contact with your dreams. So back to the temples and initiation, we are looking at this death of all self, re-entering the womb of the earth, so the new will be born, whether it is in a completely material form, in the form of a baby being born, or in a spiritual form, in the form of a real human being, with entering the world of dreams, spirits and soul, was something that lived on this little island in the middle of Mediterranean many years before other temples were built all around the world. And I will finish with alchemical vitriol, which actually means visit the interior of the earth. And then through purification you will find a sacred stone. Within the alchemy, this sacred stone had the property of transforming any metal into gold. Within literal interpretation of things, it has the property of transforming our earthly self into our heavenly beings. It has the property of merging our body, soul, and spirit.